Have you ever wondered when to drink water? Water isn't just a thirst quencher. The timing of when you sip it can significantly boost your health. Starting your day with a glass of water is like giving your body a wake-up call. This morning ritual activates your internal organs, kickstarting your metabolism after hours of rest. Then think about the simple act of drinking water before meals. It's not just a good habit. It helps with digestion by preparing your stomach for the food you're about to enjoy, which can prevent overeating too. Now let's talk about winding down. Drinking water before bed might sound like a risky move if you're worried about midnight bathroom trips, but it can actually be beneficial. It helps to keep your heart healthy and reduces the risk of heart attacks during the night. So, make it a point to drink water at these key times: morning, before meals, and before hitting the hay. It's amazing what a little timing can do for your overall health. The oldest toy in the world is just a stick. Believe it or not, one of the oldest toys on Earth is simply a stick. For thousands of years, sticks have been used by people for all kinds of purposes, from simple play to the creation of complex tools. Children have used sticks in role-playing games, imagining them as swords, weapons, or magical wands. These simple yet versatile objects remain a staple in children's games even today. Their popularity is so great that in 2008, the United States even established a National Stick Day to celebrate the importance of the stick in toy history. Who would have thought that such a simple item could become part of our cultural heritage? Imagine a cobra warning you with a scent before striking. When a cobra spreads its iconic hood, it's not just for show. It's part of a multi-layered defense system. The dramatic display makes the snake appear larger and more menacing. But some species go even further. They secrete pheromone-rich saliva to signal territory or attract mates. And if that doesn't work, spitting cobras can eject venom up to 1.8 meters away, aiming for the eyes to cause temporary blindness and severe pain. This venom isn't just toxic. It's a precision chemical weapon. The cobra's combination of bluff, chemical warning, and physical defense makes it one of nature's most sophisticated survivalists. No other snake combines these tactics with such chilling elegance. Did you know that the world's smallest mammal weighs less than a penny? The bumblebee bat holds the record as the world's smallest mammal, weighing less than a penny. Native to Southeast Asia, these tiny bats live in caves and hunt for insects with remarkable efficiency. Despite their small size, just about 2 grams, they are perfectly adapted to their environment. The bumblebee bat demonstrates that nature's diversity includes even the tiniest of creatures, each playing an important role in the grand tapestry of life. Did you know Forrest Gump ran through a movie paradise? In the iconic film Forrest Gump, there's a memorable scene where Forrest sets off on his epic cross-country run, and it was filmed in the breathtaking Monument Valley, a stunning natural landmark situated on the border of Arizona and Utah. This majestic area is not just a backdrop for Forrest's journey, it has become synonymous with classic American cinema. Its dramatic red rocks and endless horizons have played host to countless famous films, especially westerns, creating an image that many people instantly recognize. Think of classic movies featuring cowboys, vast deserts, and thrilling showdowns. Many of them were shot in this striking landscape. Monument Valley's beauty is so unique that it captures the spirit of the American West, transporting audiences into the heart of nature and adventure. So next time you see Forrest running through that captivating landscape, remember that he's not just running. He's traversing a piece of cinematic history where film legends were made. Did you know that bees need to visit 2 million flowers to make 1 kilogram of honey? To produce just 1 kilogram of honey, bees must visit around 2 million flowers. This labor-intensive process involves collecting nectar from a wide variety of plants, and through the hard work of the hive, the sweet nectar of nature is created. Every drop of honey represents the collective effort of thousands of bees and the biodiversity of the plants they visit. Honey is more than just a sweet treat. It's a testament to the wonders of the natural world. Is it true that ancient Egyptians used crocodile dung as a contraceptive? Yes, it's true. Around 2,000 years before Christ, women in ancient Egypt used crocodile dung as a method to prevent pregnancy. They believed this method would block sperm from entering, While this might sound strange and even risky from a modern medical perspective, people back then sought any means of birth control. This historical fact shows just how far humanity has come in the development of medicine. Thanks to modern research, we now have much safer and more reliable methods of contraception. Can you imagine that the highest temperature in the USA was recorded in California's Death Valley at 56 degrees? It's one of the hottest and driest regions on the planet, where living conditions are extremely harsh. In contrast, the lowest temperature in the USA was recorded in Alaska at -60. These temperature extremes illustrate the incredible climate diversity in the country, from the scorching heat of deserts to the deadly cold of the northern latitudes. Imagine for a moment that goats have panoramic vision. Goats are known for their fearless climbing on steep cliffs, but their eyes play a huge role in that daring agility. Humans' round pupils. Goats have rectangular, horizontal pupils that provide a panoramic 320-degree field of vision. This allows them to detect movement from virtually all directions without turning their heads. Even more amazing, their eyes rotate independently to keep the horizontal plane steady as they move over uneven terrain. It's like having a built-in stabilizer and wide-angle lens. This adaptation gives goats confidence to traverse high-altitude ledges where predators lurk and where a single misstep can be fatal. It's not just strong legs that keep goats safe, it's their extraordinary eyes evolved for balance, survival, and a constant view of everything around them. Here's something incredible about newborn deer. When fawns make their entrance into the world, they come with a remarkable adaptation. They lack any scent. This unique feature is a clever survival tactic that helps keep them hidden from predators such as wolves and bears. Imagine being a tiny, helpless fawn lying still in the grass, blending in perfectly with your surroundings while nature plays its game of hide and seek. Most animals rely on their sense of smell to find their food, and without a scent, fawns are like invisible little ninjas in the wild. Their mothers know the importance of this survival strategy, often leaving their young in a safe spot while they venture off to graze. This way, the fawn stays hidden and safe from danger. But it doesn't stop there. As they grow, fawns begin to develop their own scent, which helps them bond with their mothers and eventually learn the ways of the forest. So next time you see a young deer, remember their survival is a combination of cleverness and the wonders of nature. How many species of animals do you think are on Earth? Our planet is a true treasure trove, home to over 8,700,000 species of animals. Even more astonishing is that over 80% of these creatures remain undiscovered. These mysterious beings, hidden from our eyes, are waiting for their moment to reveal their secrets. As we explore the animal kingdom, we uncover the wonders of nature, reminding us of the endless mystery and diversity of our planet. Did you know that in the USA there is a monument known as the Four Corners, located at the intersection of 4 states, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona? This unique geographical location is one of the most unusual in the world. Thousands of tourists flock here to take photos at the point where 4 states meet. This monument is not just a point on the map. It's a symbol of how geography can create unique, almost magical places on Earth that become cultural and historical landmarks. Moreover, it draws the attention of researchers and geographers from around the world, serving not only as a tourist attraction, but also as a subject of scientific study. Did you know Sirius is the brightest star in the night sky? When you look up at the night sky, you probably notice a bright star shining more brilliantly than all the others. That's Sirius, also known as the Dog Star. Located in the constellation Canis Major, Sirius has a magnitude of -1.46, making it the brightest star visible from Earth. Although it seems close, Sirius is about 8.6 light-years away, adding a sense of mystery and wonder to the night sky. Why was Stonehenge really built? The mystery of Stonehenge has puzzled scientists for centuries. One theory suggests it was an ancient astronomical structure used to observe celestial events. Research shows that Stonehenge was aligned with the summer and winter solstices. Another hypothesis proposes that it was a place of healing or a ritual complex. Despite numerous theories, the true purpose of this ancient monument remains a mystery. It's amazing, But the platypus is one of the strangest creatures on Earth. This incredible Australian animal, which looks like a mix of different creatures, has baffled scientists for centuries. The platypus lays eggs, produces milk for its young, and has venomous spurs on its hind legs. This combination of traits makes it one of the most unique mammals on the planet. Despite its odd characteristics, the platypus has lived on Earth for millions of years and remains a symbol of nature's mysteries and evolution. Snails can sleep for up to 3 years. In the slow-moving world of creatures, snails are the undeniable champions. They have the astonishing ability to hibernate for up to 3 years. For some, it's not laziness, but rather an enviable skill of endurance and patience. You can only imagine the slow-paced dreams they must have over the years. And here we thought our weekend naps were impressive. Don't ever challenge a snail to a sleep-off. You're bound to lose in the most hilarious way possible. Hard to believe, but Komodo monitors have venomous saliva. For decades, scientists believed the Komodo dragon killed through bacterial infections from its dirty mouth. But recent discoveries have revealed a far more terrifying truth. Komodos have venom glands in their jaws that release a cocktail of proteins that thin the blood, lower blood pressure, and cause shock. When a dragon bites, the toxins immediately enter the bloodstream, creating a slow death through internal bleeding and muscle breakdown. Their serrated teeth act like saws, tearing flesh and allowing the venom to flood in. This means even a short encounter can be fatal for prey, which often stumbles away before collapsing, only to be tracked down later by the Komodo's ultra-sensitive scent detection. These dragons aren't just brutal, they're chemically armed predators, blurring the line between reptile and venomous assassin. The rarest zebra in the world, spots instead of stripes. In Kenya, an incredible zebra was once spotted with spots instead of the usual stripes. This rare phenomenon occurred due to a genetic mutation that literally transformed our understanding of what zebras look like. This unusual zebra attracted great attention from conservationists and biologists, as such deviations are rare and require special attention to preserve the species. It's not every day you see a zebra with spots instead of stripes. The United States is the birthplace of skyscrapers. The first skyscraper was built in Chicago in 1885 and held the record until 1931. The tallest building in the U.S., Freedom Tower in New York, which stands on the site of the destroyed Twin Towers, is currently the 7th tallest building in the world. These architectural marvels symbolize not only strength and technology, but also the resilience of the nation following the 9/11 tragedy. Skyscrapers in the U.S. embody the country's ambitions and its capability to construct unique, magnificent structures that continue to astonish the world. Ban on cars on Machinak Island. How horses defeated cars. Imagine an island where cars have been banned since the late 19th century. Machinak Island in Michigan became a place where, in 1898, automobiles were completely banned because they frightened horses, the primary mode of transport at the time. Amazingly, this ban remains in effect to this day. Now you can only get around the island by horse, bicycle, or on foot, and even deliveries are made with horse-drawn carts. Machinak Island is a unique place where you can enjoy quiet streets without the noise of cars. Wow, sunflowers follow the sun. Sunflowers are not just stunning flowers. Young sunflowers are natural sun trackers. This phenomenon, called heliotropism, allows them to turn their heads throughout the day to follow the sun's movement from east to west. This remarkable ability helps sunflowers optimize sunlight absorption for photosynthesis, boosting their growth. As they mature, they stop following the sun and permanently face east. This fascinating behavior illustrates how plants adapt to their environment to thrive. Hard to believe, but the sun makes noise, and we can hear it. Although space is silent in the usual sense, scientists have found a way to hear the sun using special instruments. The sound of the sun is produced by vibrations on its surface and inner layers, caused by thermal processes. Scientists have converted these vibrations into sounds that we can hear. If you could listen to the sun, it would sound like a low, humming noise. These solar vibrations help astrophysicists study the sun's internal structure, predict solar flares, and understand the processes happening in its core. Did you know that kangaroos can't jump backward? Kangaroos can easily leap up to 12 meters forward, but they're entirely unable to move backward. Their long and powerful tails provide balance, but also prevent backward propulsion. This limitation is due to the unique structure of their legs, which are solely adapted for forward jumping. Kangaroos are true masters of one-way leaping. Blind sight. How can someone see without realizing it? Imagine being blind but still being able to see movements and objects. This phenomenon is known as blind sight. In people with damage to the visual cortex, even though they don't see in the conventional sense, they can intuitively detect the location of objects and even guess where they are moving. How is this possible? Other parts of the brain are still able to process visual information. This fascinating phenomenon makes us wonder about how much our brain does in the background without us even being aware of it. It's interesting that Italy has a failed skyscraper. In Milan, there is a skyscraper that locals call the failure. The Pirelli building, constructed in the 1950s, became a symbol of architectural failure, constantly requiring repairs due to design flaws. Despite its modern shape, the building became an object of mockery, but over time, it transformed into one of the city's iconic landmarks thanks to its unusual fate. Think you know Viking helmets? Think again. The iconic image of a fierce Viking with a horned helmet might be one of the biggest myths in history. In reality, these Norse warriors wore helmets that were much simpler and more practical. Typically made from metal or leather, Viking helmets were designed with a rounded or conical shape to protect their heads during battle. The misconception likely arose from 19th century romanticized art, where artists imagined these legendary figures wearing elaborate horned adornments for a dramatic flair. In truth, the helmets were often quite basic, lacking any horns at all. This design made it easier for them to maneuver and fight in tight formations. The actual Viking gear emphasized functionality over flamboyance, reflecting their serious approach to warfare. So next time you picture a Viking charging into battle, remember that their helmet was more about practicality than a theatrical costume. History is full of surprises, and this is just one example of how myth and reality can blend together in fascinating ways. Johnny Appleseed. The man who planted apples not for food. Many of us have heard the legend of Johnny Appleseed, whose real name was John Chapman. This famous gardener didn't just plant apple trees across America. His goal was much more interesting. He planted trees not for the apples to be eaten, but to produce cider. In the early 19th century, apples were mainly used to make this alcoholic drink, and Johnny Appleseed became a hero among cider lovers. Knowing this story, each glass of apple cider will feel a bit more historical. Can it be true that sharks never stop swimming, even when they sleep? Unlike other fish, sharks don't have swim bladders, so they must keep moving to stay buoyant and breathe. Some sharks can enter a semi-sleep state where half their brain rests while the other half keeps them swimming. Thus, sharks literally swim their entire lives without stopping. Hard to believe, but the largest iceberg was the size of Jamaica. The largest iceberg ever recorded broke off from the Ross Ice Shelf in Antarctica in 1986. It was about 280 kilometers long and 80 kilometers wide, making its area comparable to the size of Jamaica. This gigantic iceberg was so massive, it could easily have housed entire cities. It drifted in the ocean for several years, slowly melting. Who would have thought that China has entire ghost cities? In China, there are cities built for millions of people, but they remain almost empty. For example, Ordos is a city designed for 1 million residents, but in reality, only a few thousand people live there. These are huge quarters with skyscrapers that have never been inhabited. The reasons for this disappearance of people are not entirely clear, making these ghost cities a real mystery for urban researchers. Can you imagine that the U.S. controls 80% of global maritime trade? In fact, the U.S. is a major force in global shipping routes. 80% of world trade moves via the oceans, and surprisingly, the U.S. controls a significant portion of this traffic. In the 20th century, Americans recognized how to leverage their geographic potential to dominate the global economy. For a long time, trade routes ran through the Atlantic Ocean, but starting in the 1980s, an equal amount of goods began to be transported via the Pacific Ocean. This allowed the U.S. to expand its influence and gain an advantage in trade with Asian countries. Turns out, there are bridges that speak. In some places, such as the Millennium Bridge in London, special plates emit sounds when people walk on them. These sounds are designed to resemble whispers or voices, creating a unique atmosphere. Especially at night, such a bridge becomes a real attraction, drawing tourists with its mystical sounds. Can you believe that the world's oldest cheese was found in a tomb over 3,000 years old? In 2014, archaeologists in China made an incredible discovery: the world's oldest cheese, buried in the tomb of a nobleman from the Bronze Age. Dating back to the 16th century BCE, this ancient cheese was made from a mixture of cow, goat, and sheep's milk. Thanks to the unique burial conditions, the cheese was well preserved, with a crumbly texture and a salty flavor. Interestingly, the bacteria used to make this cheese had consumed the lactose during fermentation, making it lactose-free. Why could ancient Romans drink poisoned wine without fearing for their lives? In ancient Rome, people believed that mixing wine with honey and certain herbs would turn it into an antidote. This drink, called Mithridatium, was so popular that everyone, from peasants to emperors, drank it. It was said to protect against all kinds of poisons, and legend has it that King Mithridates VI took it daily to become immune to poisons. Many Romans believed it worked. When someone tried to poison him, he survived. So for ancient Romans, a night with poisoned wine wasn't that scary. Did you know that the Panama Canal served not only commercial but also military purposes for the United States? Why did the U.S. need to build the Panama Canal in the early 20th century? The answer is simple. It was key to their strategic dominance over two oceans. Although Panama was part of Colombia, it provided the ideal location for constructing a canal that could connect the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. The U.S. resolved this issue by supporting Panama's independence, securing a significant advantage in global trade and military control. The Panama Canal became a crucial element of American foreign policy and national security, enabling rapid deployment of troops and goods between the two oceans. Penicillin was discovered by accident, and it saved millions of lives. In 1928, Alexander Fleming returned from vacation to his laboratory and noticed that one of his Petri dishes, infected with bacteria, was covered in mold. He was amazed to find that bacteria were not growing around the mold. This was the beginning of the discovery of penicillin, the world's first antibiotic, which completely transformed medicine and saved countless lives. A chance discovery became one of the greatest breakthroughs in human history. Can you believe North Korea runs on cash? In this isolated nation, credit cards and online transactions are complete no-shows, making cash the king of the economy. Most North Koreans rely on physical money for their day-to-day purchases, creating a unique financial landscape. The national currency, known as the North Korean won, unfortunately has no traction on the global market, which leads many people to favor more stable currencies like the US dollar or Chinese yuan. Imagine navigating your life without the convenience of electronic payments. That's a typical day for many in North Korea. The absence of a digital banking system reflects not only the country's restrictions, but also its approach to external influences, keeping their economic practices tightly under wraps. For those who are a part of the daily grind in North Korea, this cash-only system is simply how things work. While this might sound daunting to us, it's just the norm over there. Like shopping in a foreign land where bank transactions come straight out of your pocket. Is it true that most dust is dead skin? Imagine that every day you shed millions of skin cells that turn into dust in your home. Dead skin cells make up a significant portion of household dust, along with clothing fibers, hair, and pollen. On average, a person loses about 200 million skin cells every hour. Of course, this doesn't sound very pleasant, but nature has designed your skin to constantly renew itself. In fact, one of the oils on your skin, squalene, helps reduce the harmful effects of ozone in the air, making your skin's microbiome a true protector of your environment. So the next time you're wiping down dust, remember, you're essentially cleaning away your yesterday cells that have already served their purpose. Amazing how the body continually renews itself and maintains balance with the environment. Why are trees in Poland mysteriously bent? In the crooked forest near the village of Gryfino in Poland, there are trees with mysterious curved trunks. Their bend begins almost at the roots, and the trees grow at an angle before straightening up. The exact reasons for this bend are unknown, and there are many theories from human intervention to natural anomalies. The crooked forest has become a popular tourist destination, drawing travelers eager to solve this natural mystery. Did you know that the first frozen dinner was created in 1953? Imagine this. The frozen dinners we're so used to were once a culinary breakthrough. In 1953, Swanson introduced a frozen meal styled after a Thanksgiving dinner. This meal was in response to the need for quick meal preparation, and since then, frozen foods have become a staple of our diets. Today, the variety of frozen meals is staggering, from pizzas to exotic delicacies. Just think how a simple solution for leftover food turned into a multi-billion-dollar industry that has transformed our eating habits. You won't believe what flows in Antarctica. At the stunning Taylor Island, there's a remarkable sight known as the Blood Falls, captivating all who visit. This striking waterfall is not your typical cascade of clear blue water. Instead, it pours out a deep, eerie red, reminiscent of blood, which certainly raises eyebrows and sparks curiosity. But what causes this unusual hue? The secret lies in the iron-rich water seeping out from beneath the glacier. As the salty water, which is extremely saline and acidic, flows to the surface, it oxidizes once it comes into contact with the air, transforming into that striking red color. This phenomenon is both mesmerizing and scientifically intriguing. The Blood Falls are a fantastic example of how Earth's unique conditions can create striking natural wonders. Despite its unsettling appearance, the water is a product of a complex geological process taking place beneath the icy surface, showcasing the incredible diversity of life and environments that exist even in the most extreme conditions like Antarctica. Can you imagine the world's longest traffic jam lasted 12 days? In 2010, China experienced the longest traffic jam in history, stretching over 100 kilometers and lasting an incredible 12 days. The traffic jam occurred on the highway connecting Beijing and Inner Mongolia, caused by a combination of road accidents and a massive number of vehicles. Some drivers were stuck for so long that they had to negotiate with local villagers for food and water. This event became a true test of patience and endurance, and remains one of the most epic traffic jams ever recorded. Why do you think children in Britain start school at age 4? In the UK, children begin their education at 4 or 5 years old and complete the entire school curriculum by 16-18, which totals 13 years of schooling. This is longer than in many other countries, where school education lasts for a shorter duration. However, in university, British students study for only 3 years, unlike in many other countries where it's typically 4. In state schools, students are required to wear strict dark blue uniforms, highlighting the importance of discipline and tradition in the British educational system. Believe it or not, squirrels remember hundreds of hidden nuts. While it might seem like random digging, squirrels possess astonishing spatial memory that allows them to relocate up to 300 food caches months after burial. They use environmental cues, like the shape of a tree, the pattern of rocks, or the slope of the land, to mentally map where each nut is buried. Their memory is not scent-based, rather it's cognitive and visual. In scientific experiments, squirrels successfully identified their own buried food even when decoys were planted nearby. What's more, they sometimes engage in deceptive caching, pretending to bury nuts while being watched, only to move the real ones later. Indigenous myths in North America often portray squirrels as cunning and resourceful, and now we know that's biologically accurate. This complex behavior not only ensures their winter survival, but also helps forests grow. Forgotten nuts often sprout into new trees, making squirrels accidental reforestation agents. Let's break a common myth today. Crocodile tears aren't about emotion. The popular phrase, crocodile tears, implies fake sadness, but it originates from a real biological process. When crocodiles feed, powerful jaw muscles press on glands that trigger tear secretion, not from sorrow, but as a way to clean their eyes. These reptiles often dine on sandy shores, and the tears help flush out irritants and maintain clear vision. The phenomenon was first recorded in the 14th century and misunderstood as emotional weeping, which later gave rise to the metaphor. In truth, crocodiles are cold-blooded predators, driven by instinct rather than empathy. However, their tear mechanism serves a crucial function. Without it, they'd risk infections or impaired hunting ability. Interestingly, researchers are studying similar lacrimal responses in other species to better understand how tears evolved not just for emotion, but as tools of hygiene and protection. The surprising trend in Japan: pets preferred over children. Imagine this. In Japan, there are now more pets than children. This surprising fact highlights modern social trends. More and more Japanese people are choosing to have pets instead of children. Statistics show that the number of pets in Japan exceeds the number of children under the age of 15. This is due to many factors, such as the high costs of raising children, career ambitions, and limited housing space. Pets require less time and resources, but still bring joy and a sense of care. This trend reflects global changes in the perception of family life and values in different countries around the world. Let's uncover the truth about happiness and wealth. It's fascinating how our desires for wealth and happiness can shape our lives. Research shows that when people chase wealth, they often focus on selfish motivations, like personal gain or status. In contrast, the pursuit of happiness usually involves selfless motivations, such as helping others and building strong relationships. This difference highlights why finding a balance between the two is essential for our overall well-being. When we prioritize kindness and community alongside our ambitions, we foster a sense of belonging and purpose. Imagine a world where people actively seek to uplift each other while also achieving financial stability. This harmony can lead to not just individual happiness, but also improve the well-being of communities. Striking that balance can help reduce stress and increase life satisfaction. So how can we start blending these pursuits in our daily lives? By focusing on gratitude and giving back, we can elevate our own happiness while enriching the lives of others. Can you believe that a shrimp's heart is in its head? Yes, you heard that right. A shrimp's heart is located in its head. This fascinating fact makes the shrimp unique among sea creatures. In its tiny head, both the brain and heart work in harmony to keep the shrimp alive. It's like a little command center where all the vital functions happen in one place. This quirky anatomy allows shrimp to remain highly efficient and agile in their underwater world, making them one of nature's most interesting creations. Hard to believe, but owls fly like ghosts, silently. Owls are perhaps the stealthiest hunters in the bird world, and it's all thanks to their feather anatomy. Unlike other birds, owl feathers have a soft, velvety texture with serrated leading edges that break up airflow, significantly reducing sound. This unique design allows them to fly almost silently, enabling them to sneak up on prey undetected. Studies using high-speed microphones and wind tunnels have confirmed that an owl in flight makes less than 1/10 the noise of other birds of similar size. This ghost-like silence has made owls legendary figures in folklore, often seen as messengers or omens from the spirit world. Biomechanically, it's one of evolution's most refined tools of predation, combining physical adaptation with a biological purpose. Engineers even study owl wings to design quieter fans and drones. In nature and technology alike, silence can be a deadly advantage. Believe it or not, the world's smallest island is only a few square meters. Bishop Rock, located in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of England, holds the title of the world's smallest island. Its area is only 8/1000ths of a square kilometer, just 3/1000ths of a square mile. Despite its tiny size, the island boasts a lighthouse and is the most westerly point of England. It's officially recognized in the Guinness World Records as the smallest inhabited island, proving that even the smallest piece of land can be home to something remarkable. Believe it or not, rats can laugh. Yes, you heard that right. Rats can laugh. Scientists have discovered that these cute rodents emit ultrasonic giggles when tickled. While humans can't hear these sounds, the rat's laughter has been recorded with special equipment and proved that rats can experience pleasure. This fact opens a new dimension in the study of animals' emotional worlds. Imagine, rats not only run through mazes, but also have fun, just like we do. Who would have thought that rats could be so funny and emotionally responsive creatures? Did you know about Hawaii's Lost Kingdom attempt? In 1870, a bold group of Americans made a surprising move by trying to establish the Kingdom of Hawaii, seeking independence from the United States. This ambitious plan reflected their desire for self-governance and a different future for the islands. The leaders aimed to capitalize on Hawaii's unique culture and resources, thinking it would thrive separately from U.S. control. However, despite their enthusiasm and plans, the effort faced significant challenges, including local opposition and political complications. Fast forward to 1898, and Hawaii's fate took a different turn when it officially became a U.S. territory. This move dramatically altered the island's future, integrating them into a broader national framework and paving the way for Hawaii's eventual statehood. The fascinating history of Hawaii's independence attempt showcases the complex interplay of power, culture, and identity during a transformative period in American history. How might things have been different if they had succeeded? The secret of the creosote bush's longevity. In the Mojave Desert, one of the driest places on Earth, a creosote bush over 11,000 years old still grows. It's the oldest living thing on Earth, having survived entire civilizations. It grows in a ring shape, with each new sprout slowly replacing the older ones, creating an unbroken connection to past generations. Thanks to its incredible ability to survive in extreme conditions, this bush has become a symbol of resilience and longevity. The creosote bush reminds us that nature can withstand almost anything if left undisturbed. Wonder how blue whales communicate underwater? These enormous creatures, the largest animals on the planet, have a fascinating way of connecting with one another, thanks to their powerful songs. Blue whales produce low-frequency calls that can travel across vast distances in the ocean. These calls are like underwater whispers that travel for hundreds of miles, allowing them to communicate with potential mates or other whales. It's almost as if they're sending text messages, but through sound. Researchers believe these songs also help whales navigate the deep, dark waters, guiding them through the vast and sometimes treacherous oceanic depths. What's truly incredible is that these sounds can be so deep that human ears might struggle to hear them. They fall below the range of typical human hearing. Moreover, these songs not only serve practical purposes, but also play a role in social bonding. Next time you ponder ocean life, remember these gentle giants are not just roaming the seas. They are actively singing and chatting, creating the largest symphony on Earth. Did you know astronauts can't burp in space? It's true, up there in the big vast universe, the absence of gravity changes how our bodies function in surprising ways. You see, when we're on Earth, gravity keeps everything in our stomachs in their designated positions. When we eat or drink, gas can build up, and we can release it by burping. But in space, things are a bit different. Without gravity to help separate the gases from liquids in our stomachs, astronauts find that the gas doesn't rise as it normally would back home. This means that instead of a nice, satisfying burp after a meal, they might just feel bloated and uncomfortable. The gas doesn't escape easily, which can lead to some tricky situations during long missions. To combat this, astronauts have to be careful about what they eat and drink, opting for foods that minimize gas production. So next time you're indulging in a fizzy drink or a hearty meal, just remember, in the zero-gravity world of space, burping is a luxury they simply can't afford. Why do leaves turn red and yellow in the fall? When autumn comes, trees turn off photosynthesis. During this process, the green pigment, chlorophyll, breaks down, and other pigments, carotenoids and anthocyanins, reveal themselves in yellow and red hues. It's like nature putting on a colorful show. Interestingly, the cooler and sunnier the autumn, the brighter these colors will be. Have you ever realized that this is nature's magical performance happening right before your eyes? Can you imagine that some flowers eat mice? This isn't science fiction, it's reality. There are carnivorous plants, such as the nepenthes or pitcher plants, that can trap and digest not only insects but also small animals like mice. These plants secrete sweet nectar to lure their prey, and once the animal falls into the pitcher, it can't escape. The plant world is far more cunning and mysterious than it seems. Is it true that counterfeiting has existed since the inception of coins? Counterfeiting emerged simultaneously with the first coins. Ancient fraudsters began to chip away at the edges of coins to create new ones, thereby diminishing their value. To counteract this, coins started to feature special edges, reading, making counterfeiting more difficult. Despite these measures, counterfeiting remains a relevant issue in various countries today. How do insects breathe without lungs? Insects have a fascinating respiratory system. They don't have lungs, but instead breathe through tiny pores called spiracles. These spiracles are located on their thorax and abdomen, allowing air to flow through a network of tubes called tracheae. Some insects can even control their breathing by opening and closing the spiracles, and in low oxygen conditions, they can temporarily slow their metabolism by recycling the oxygen stored in their tracheae. This respiratory system is just one of the many ingenious adaptations that help insects thrive in diverse environments. Galileo didn't invent the telescope. Many people believe that Galileo Galilei invented the telescope, but in reality, he improved upon an existing design. The first telescope was actually created by a Dutch spectacle maker named Hans Lippershey in 1608. Galileo made enhancements to this design and used the telescope for astronomical observations, discovering phenomena such as lunar mountains and Jupiter's moons. His contributions to science are invaluable, but it's important to remember that great discoveries often build upon the work of those who came before. Can you imagine how long your blood vessels are? It might blow your mind to learn that the human body houses an incredible network of blood vessels stretching around 60,000 miles or about 96,500 kilometers. That's nearly enough to wrap around the Earth's equator 2.5 times. These vessels include arteries, veins, and capillaries, all working tirelessly to maintain our health. Arteries carry oxygen-rich blood from the heart to every part of your body, while veins return the oxygen-poor blood back to the heart, and capillaries act as tiny bridges between the two. If you line them all up, they'd create a massive web that's not just impressive, but essential for life. This circulatory system helps transport nutrients, hormones, and waste, playing a critical role in keeping our bodies functioning smoothly. So next time you feel your heartbeat, remember that it's a signal of that vast network at work, silently and efficiently delivering what we need for survival. Believe it or not, the world's deepest lake holds 20% of all the fresh water on Earth. Lake Baikal, located in Siberia, is not only the deepest lake in the world, but also contains 20% of the world's freshwater reserves. Its depth reaches over 1.5 kilometers, and its volume of water is so vast that it could supply fresh water to the entire planet for several years. This incredible lake is also home to unique species of animals and plants that can't be found anywhere else in the world. Lake Baikal is truly a natural treasure. The secret to flight: 4 forces that keep a plane in the air. A plane's flight isn't just about its wings. In reality, there are 4 forces at work: lift, thrust, drag, and gravity. Lift keeps the plane in the air thanks to the wings. Thrust propels the plane forward through its engines. Drag resists the plane's motion, and gravity pulls it down. These forces work together to maintain stable flight, like a well-choreographed dance where each force has its role. Understanding these forces can make the marvel of flight even more fascinating. Surprisingly but true, the wave in Arizona attracts tourists from around the world with its unique natural formation. Located on the border with Utah, the wave is a remarkable sandstone feature that has become a symbol of natural beauty and stunning landscapes. This site is known for its wave-like rock structures, painted in vibrant shades of red, orange, and yellow. Travelers from across the globe visit to see this place, and many photographers consider it one of the most beautiful and photographed spots on Earth. Imagine for a moment that Positano in Italy was once just a fishing village. Today, Positano is one of the most popular tourist destinations on the Amalfi Coast. But this picturesque town was once a small fishing hamlet. Everything changed after John Steinbeck wrote about it in 1953, which made it famous. Since then, Positano has drawn tourists with its steep streets, charming houses with colorful facades, and stunning views of the Mediterranean Sea. Did you know the Nile is the longest river in the world? The Nile River, which stretches approximately 6,650 kilometers, passes through 11 countries in northeastern Africa. These countries, Burundi, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Egypt, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda, depend on the Nile for their economies, cultures, and ecosystems. The Nile is not only a lifeline for millions of people, but also a witness to ancient history spanning millennia. Did you know that Plitvice Lakes in Croatia are a true natural maze? The Plitvice Lakes consist of 16 individual bodies of water set in a unique natural landscape, interconnected by waterfalls and streams. These lakes are located within the eponymous National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Plitvice Lakes are not only a stunning natural beauty, but also an example of how nature can create a perfect destination for tourism and relaxation. Why has Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia become a symbol of infinity and magic? Salar de Uyuni is the largest salt flat in the world, characterized by an endless white expanse. This place has an incredible atmosphere, especially during the rainy season, when water covers the surface, transforming it into a gigantic mirror-like lake. This makes Salar de Uyuni not only a spot for unique photographs, but also a symbol of infinity, wonder, and magic. Did you know that the Tower of London was once bright white? In the Middle Ages, the Tower of London wasn't gray as it is today, but instead it was covered with a white plaster, earning it the nickname White Tower. At that time, white plaster symbolized strength and purity. Every few years, the tower was repainted to maintain its bright appearance. Over time, the coating wore away, and the tower became gray due to dirt and pollution. But once, it really was a gleaming white pearl on the London skyline. Why has Antelope Canyon become a true mecca for photographers? Antelope Canyon in Arizona is one of the most visited and photographed natural sites in the United States. This narrow slot canyon features stunning light effects and shadow play, attracting travelers and professional photographers from around the world. The canyon boasts a pronounced wavy structure and extraordinary colors that shift depending on the time of day and the angle of light. Accessing the canyon requires a special permit, as it is located on Native American land.